Hey guys, Tiffany with another video, and as you guys saw in the title, this video is going to be all about the new Lorac Mega Pro 3. Honestly, this palette has been like the main pickup for me with all these new holiday releases and all these new like fall releases. This is the one thing I knew I wanted to get my hands on, and honestly I'm not really impressed with all of the holiday releases that have came out so far. There's been like a couple of things that kind of piqued my interest, but for the most part I feel like so many of the things were like passable items. So let me know if you guys want to come back and do sort of like an anti-haul video where I show you guys like images of the product on the screen and let you know why personally I won't be picking them up. I think that'll be kind of like a cool video, so definitely let me know down below if that's something you guys want to see, or just give this video a thumbs up. But yes, if you guys follow me on Snapchat, you saw where I almost missed out on picking up this palette in stores. If you guys don't follow me on Snapchat, I'll leave my name right here, so definitely check me out. But I almost missed out because I had spoken with the lady the day before it released in stores on October 2nd, and she was like, oh, we have so many palettes, don't worry. No rush, get here when you get here. But then she was kind of like, but you still might want to get here like early in the morning. We open at 11 and this was on Sunday, this past Sunday, yesterday Sunday. So I got there at 11:05 and y'all, it was no palettes, none. She was like, oh, I don't know what happened, we ended up only having 3 palettes. And I'm just like, you about to get beat. But thankfully I am like a regular customer at that Ulta, and we were able to work things out and I was able to get my hands on the last palette. So I did get mine in stores. I don't know as of right now if it's still available online, but if it is, I will have that link down below. I know they did like a pre-release for the platinum members. It came out during Alani's birthday extravaganza weekend, so I was like so busy, and then when I got a chance to sit down at the computer to try and order it, it was already sold out. But yeah, I'm ready to go ahead, tell you guys my thoughts, show you the palette, show you some swatches, because you guys might be surprised. I might not like it as much as I thought I would. Who knows? Let's get started. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about packaging. Now, as far as how it comes in this box. On one side you do have a picture of all of the shades. It says Mega Pro Palette 3 in like rose gold lettering. It says that it is a shimmer and matte eyeshadow palette, and then of course it does tell you the price that it retails for, which is $59, and that it's limited edition. And then on the back of it is just this really pretty rose gold and white, which seems to be the theme for the whole collection. They did come out with some matte lippies. They came out with a blush palette, and then also some of their alter ego like lip glosses. I didn't pick up anything else. I swatched everything in Ulta. The highlighter palette, I felt like for deeper skin tones, it wasn't really workable. And then the matte pencils, the colors weren't really all that unique. I did swatches again on my Snapchat. Only bad thing is, of course, Snapchat goes away after 24 hours, but I should also have images of them up on my Instagram as well, so check that out. Really, I was only interested in this palette, but as far as the packaging, I think of all of the Mega Pro palettes, this one definitely has to be the best one so far, hands down. But for the star of the show, the actual palette, here is how it comes. Now, as you can see, the palette is white, and then it does have the rose gold lettering on it, and then on the back it's just all white. I know instantly the first thing you think is like, white, it's gonna get dirty, obviously. So I was a little turned off by that. I mean, just looking at it, like for vanity purposes and stuff like that, it's gorgeous. But then as far as getting use out of it, the shadows, I mean, it's going to get dirty. But it does wipe off fairly easy with just like a makeup wipe, because I did get some smudges on the back, but I was able to wipe it off, and as you can see, there's nothing on there. It is a really thin palette, so I think that's really great for like travel purposes, because it's not like really bulky or anything like that. It does come with a really nice size mirror. I don't want to blind you guys, but I love the mirrors on the Mega Pro palettes. They are usable, and not every mirror that comes on palettes is usable. Sometimes they're too small, sometimes they just don't work. These are some really great mirrors, and I did use the mirror when doing my eye look. I also used the eyeshadows on my eye look today. But then here are what these shadows look like. Again, it comes with 32 shades. Of the 32, 30 are supposed supposed to be new and exclusive to this palette. And then you have 2 shades what they are calling your essential shades, and I'm guessing that they are in other palettes. Now you do get 2 rows of matte, and then you also get 2 rows of shimmer. So it's basically like you're getting 2 palettes in one. If you guys are familiar with the Lorac Pro palettes, you know that they give you a row of shimmer and a row of matte. So again, with these, you're getting 2 rows of matte and 2 rows of shimmer. One thing I will say, I've been hearing so many people say that this is only like a warm themed palette, but I definitely don't agree with that. I feel like you are getting a really nice mixture of warm tones as well as cool tones. And although I'm more of a warm tone girl, I'm more of a neutral girl, I do think that they've thrown in some really nice cool toned shades in there if you are more of a cool toned guy or girl. So I'll show you the first 2 matte rows, and then I'll show you the 2 shimmer rows. And then I've already went ahead and swatched them on my hand. So this shade right here is Pink Cream. This shade right here is Tan. This shade is Pecan or Pecan. This shade right here is Walnut. This shade is Dusty Mauve. This shade is Violet Gray. This shade right here is Eggplant, and then this shade is Dark Navy. So again, this is the first row of matte eyeshadows. So going into the next row of matte eyeshadows, this shade right here is Crepe. This shade is Toffee. This shade is Miss. This shade right here is Vintage. This shade is Hickory. This shade is Maple. This would be a really nice transition shade, I think, for a lot of skin tones. It is the transition shade that I use today. This shade right here is Bark, and then this shade is Jet Black. So again, this is the second row of matte eyeshadows. So now starting off with the first row of shimmer shades, this shade right here is Snow. And I think this would probably be a really nice highlight shade for lighter skin tones. I tried it, I didn't really like it on myself, but I think if you have a lighter skin tone, that would be pretty on you. This shade right here is Kava. This shade is Cider. This shade is Bellini. This shade right here is Brown Sugar. This shade is, I almost skipped it because it's blending in with my skin tone. This shade is Sequoia. This shade right here is Glacier, and then this shade is Deep Fog. So again, this is the first row of the shimmer eyeshadows. And then the final row of shimmer shades, starting with this one right here. This is Tulle. This shade right here is Pink Bronze. This shade is Rust. This shade right here is Rose Quartz. This shade is Olive, and I thought this would be like a gorgeous green shade, like an olivey green shade, but I feel like you would really have to build this shade up to get the most color potential, at least for my skin tone. So I wanted to be wowed by this. I thought this would be like one of the shades I gravitated towards, but I don't really care for it. This shade right here is Dark Roast. This shade is Pomegranate, and then this shade is Licorice. And again, this is the final row of shimmer shades and the final row of shades within the palette. And then finally, of course, to just come and give you guys my initial thoughts on the new Lorac Mega Pro 3 palette. And y'all know I'ma always be 1,000, regardless of whatever backlash I get. I'm always gonna come and be real with you guys. So I have to say, I like this palette. I don't love it. I'm not wowed by it like I want it to be, because like I said, this was really the main thing on my list as far as the fall and the holiday releases. But after receiving it, after playing around with it, like I said, I did use it on my eyes, after swatching the colors, I just don't feel like it's anything like exciting. I wasn't just initially blown away by the shades, and that has happened before. Like, there have been lots of palettes that I just was like initially blown away. Like, for instance, the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. If you haven't gotten your hands on that, like, what are you waiting for? That palette to me is just like one of those palettes that I feel like everybody needs. This one, I think because it's a limited edition palette, it would be a nice addition to your collection. I especially think if you're someone that likes the mauve shades, the rosy tone shades, the rose gold, champagne-y type of shades, you would really like this palette. And I do like those shades, but for whatever reason, it's just not doing it for me like I wanted it to. So I do like it. Again, I think it'll be a nice addition to my collection. How much use do I think I'm gonna get out of it? Probably not too much. I'll probably play around with it, maybe do a couple of looks here and there, but I can already tell that this is more than likely going to sit on my shelf and just be cute, really. So do I feel like you need it? I don't want to say no, just because of the fact, again, it's a limited edition palette. So it's one of those things that once, you know, they're gone, you can't really get your hands on it. So it's an Ulta exclusive. The good thing about Ulta is that if you get it and you don't like it, you are able to take it back and get your money back. But just for me, if I wasn't such a makeup junkie, do I feel like I could do without the palette? Yeah, I do. I'm sorry, because I know a lot of people have been loving it. I've heard people say this is the best palette ever. It's okay. I like it. But that's about it. So that is it for my Lorac Mega Pro 3 palette first impression initial review. Definitely let me know what you guys think of the video. Let me know what you think of this palette if you have it already. Like I said, I know a lot of people love it. I wanted to love it. Y'all know, if y'all follow me on Snapchat or if you just know me in general, this is the palette. You guys have been asking me like, Tiff, what palette are you thinking? This has been, as far as the eyeshadow palettes, this has been the one hands down that I wanted to get my hands on. And now that I have it, meh. But let me know what you guys are thinking. As always, thank you guys so much for riding with me. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Y'all know it's greatly appreciated. But until next time, bye YouTube.